Okay, so our today's topic is called regression and correlation analysis. That is what you can write on your notes. Regression and correlation analysis, that is the topic of today. And I've already sent you the notes. But as usual, I want us to discuss. Then we will have the questions. Now, statistical and correlation analysis, or the regression and correlation analysis, is simply a statistical method. It's simply a statistical method that is used to study what we call is used to study two things. One is the nature of the relationship. When we talk about the nature, we are talking of the type of relationship, and that is the regression. And then we talk of, that is the correlation, and then we talk about the strength of the relationship. When we talk about the nature, we have three types of relationships. One is called direct and is usually represented by a positive value for B. And it is where the two items change towards the same direction. So if one is going up, the other one is also going up. If one is coming down, the other one is also coming down. They change towards the same direction. Next is what we call inverse. Inverse is represented by the negative sign, and this is where the items move towards opposite directions. So when one is going up, the other one is coming down, and the opposite is also true. Then we have what we call the null relationship. This is where there is no connection between the items. This is where there is no connection between the items. When one is changing, the other one is not affected. Then, when we talk about the strength, strength is measured using correlation coefficient. And we normally say the closer the value is to 1, the stronger the relationship. So we will be looking at the value of this, and we shall be interpreting them. Now, the general format of the equation is y is equals to a plus bx, and we shall be interpreting them, as also you can see in the notes. The other thing is, when you're talking about this regression and correlation, it could be about data that is what we call non-parametric. And when we are using the non-parametric, we use what we call the Spearman's random correlation. When we are dealing with parametric values that you can quantify, we use what we call the Pearson's product correlation coefficient. So that is what we are going to do. And this one is more computational. So I'm going to identify a question. Then we handle the question as we explain. I want us to start with this question of September. September 2021. September 2021, question number 4B. September 2021, question number 4B. Look at it. A minute. So that question is on what we call Spearman's rank correlation. So we start with drawing what we call analysis table. Analysis table. Now in the analysis table, we have the students. We have the students. Then we have quantitative analysis. Quantitative analysis. And in the quantitative analysis, we will have the marks. Then we'll have the ranks, which I want to call A. Then we have auditing. We'll have marks. Then I will have ranks. Then we have a column we call difference in ranks squared. So this one I call it B. So it will be A minus B squared. We call it D squared. So what you do, So we copy these values. For the student, we have student A alipata 76 hapa kwa QA na akapata 82 hapo. Then B 43 and 57. Then C 49 and 75. D 84 and 86. E 69 and 68. F 69 and 92. This is 92. G is 53 and 43. H is 36 and 53. So what you do from there is to rank. The highest is given number 1. So hapa, this is the highest. So you put it number 1 that way. 84 is followed by 76. So this is number 2. Is followed by 69. And you see these 69s are 2. So what you do, because they are 2, we are supposed to give them position 3 and position what? 4. So you add these 2, divide by 2, and that will be 3.5. So each one, you give it 3.5, 3.5. Then position 4 has been taken. So we are now going to give position 5. So after 69, we have 53. So this will be number 5. So if there were 3 that were tied, say there were 3 of them, ungekuja useme 3, 4, and 5. You divide them by 3. That will give you what? 4. So each one of them, utaiwekea what? 4, 4. Each one. Alafu ndio the next one, sasa ikuwe number 6. Because 5 has already been taken. So that is what happens. Now, after 53, we have 49. That must be number 6. We have 43. That must be number 7. And we have 36, which must be number 8. Number 8. Okay, let's go to auditing. We do the same thing. When we go to auditing, the highest is 92, this one. So this is number 1. The fourth one 96, number 2. The fourth one 92, number 3. Number 4 should be 75, yeah? Number 5 is 57, yeah? Number 6, apana, una 68, hit your number 5. This one should be number 6. Number 6, So number 7 is this one, and this is number 8. So, kiambiwa difference in rank squared, utakuwa unasema 2 minus 3 is 1. You square. The answer is what? 1. 7 minus 6, 1. Square, you get 1. 6 minus 4, 2. Square, 4. 1 minus 2, 1. Negative. Square 1. 3.5 minus 5 is 1.5 negative square. 2.25. Higher. 3.5 minus 1, 2.5. So you square 6.25. 5 minus 8, you get negative 3. You square, you get 9. 8 minus 7, 1. You square 1. So give me the total of that, of these values that have been squared. And 5.5. So in the 25.5, below that now, we compute what we call Spearman's rank correlation coefficient. Spearman's rank correlation coefficient. Spearman's rank correlation coefficient. This one is normally denoted as RS is equals to 1 minus 6 sum of d squared. You divide by n brackets n square minus 1. That's the formula of getting that. Sasa, this becomes 1 minus 6 times d squared, which is 25.5. We divide by n. N is 8. So 8 square minus 1. So this is 1 minus what? Point 3. You agree with that? So it is 0.7. So the question I asked, compute the Spearman's rank correlation coefficient and interpret the results. So the interpretation is that this shows this value shows a strong relationship, between the marks scored in quantitative analysis and auditing. Quantitative analysis and auditing. The marks scored in quantitative analysis and auditing. So that is how simple Spearman's correlation coefficient is. I want you to allow a similar space. Taka uache space kama hiyo. Uitumie kujibu hii swali ya November 2020 question 2B. November 2020 question 2B. November 2020 question 2B. Hiyo ningependa uache space. It is exactly kama hii. I think hiyo iko na 9 items. 9 items instead of 8. You will notice that this topic, the probability that it will miss in your exam is very low. They always bring questions on this topic, and the beauty is that these questions are very simple. These questions are very simple. So that being true, I want us to proceed to, I told you we have two types. So nataka tuangalie swali linaitwa la sitting. This one of April 2023, question 4B. April 2023, question 4B. So in that question, you can see clearly, we have the number of sales people engaged and the sales in thousands. Okay, using the total sales function or estimated total sales function using ordinary least squares method. So this question is on ordinary least squares method. I think we came across this, if you remember, when we were in time series. Our very first topic, or the second time series. So here we have the people, and people becomes our X. People engaged is our X. Then we have sales. They become our Y. Then I told you to require a column where X is multiplied by Y, and you require a column where X is squared. Those are the four columns that we require anytime you are in regression. Anytime you are in regression analysis. So let us put the values as they have been given. This is 12 and 23,000. If you do not put those zeros there, you will have made a mistake. If you say 12 and 23, that would be wrong. 11 and 22,000. The data must be in the same form. 14 and 23,000. 12 and 24,000. 15 and 28,000. 11 and 22,000. 13 and 23,000. 14 and 26,000. 10 and 20,000. 9 and 17,000. Those are the values. So ukishapewa hizo values na ukisha record namna hiyo, what you need to do next is to get to the total. Let's start with the total of X. Useme 12 plus 11 plus 14 plus 12 plus 15 plus 11 plus 13 plus 14 plus 10 plus 9. I'm getting 121. So 20 part 23 plus 22 plus 23 plus 24 plus 28 plus 22 plus 23 plus 26 plus 20 plus 17. I'm getting 228,000. And let's start to multiply. 12 times 23,000 is 276,000. 11 times 22,000 is 242,000. 14 times 23,000 is 322,000. 12 plus or times 24 is 288,000. 15 times 28 is 420,000. 11 times 22 is 242,000. 13 times 23 is 299,000. 14 times 26 is 364,000. 10 times 20 is 200,000. 9 times 17 is 153,000. Then you add them. So plus 200 plus 364 plus 299 plus 242 plus 420 plus 288 plus 322 plus 242 plus 276. Are you getting 2,806,000? Timothy is sending your figures also so that we compare. So let's go to x squared. 12 squared is 144. 11 squared is 121. 14 squared is 196. 12 is 144. 15 squared is 225. 11 is 121. 13 squared is 169. 14 squared is 196. This is 100. This is 81. So if I say plus 81 plus 100 plus 196 plus 121 plus 225 plus 144 plus 196 plus 121 plus 144. I'm getting 1497. Is it? 1497. So with that, remember we are dealing with the Pearson analysis. So the least squares function. So the function inakuanga y is equals to a plus bx. Y is equals to a plus bx. These things you know, where we say that b is given as n, sum of xy minus sum of x, sum of y. You divide by n, sum of x squared minus sum of x, you square that. Sasa hii, it is, these values are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So all of them are 10. So our n is 10. So 10 multiplied by sum of xy, which is 2,806,000, minus sum of x, which is 121, times sum of y, which is 228,000. You divide by 10 times sum of x squared, which is 1497, minus sum of x, 121 times 121. So ukiweka hizo figures kwa calc, 10 times 1497 minus 121 times 121 equals, so times 10 times 2806,000 minus 121 times 228,000. 1434.65. Made out. Okay, let me. You're getting? Me, I'm still getting the same answer. 1434. Okay. When you shuku 1434.65. Timothy, what are you getting? That one, eh? Okay. So you are getting that. I doubt, but it's still okay. So then A, we know is sum of y minus b sum of x to divide by n. Sasa hii itakuwa sum of y is 228,000 minus 1434.65 times 121. You divide by 10. You divide by 10. Divide by 10. So if I multiply this by 121 equals, then I say 228,000 minus the answer equals divide by 10. Sawa basi 5,440.729. Sawa, eh? So if that is the case, then we are told to interpret that. So first of all, we say y will be equal to 5440.729 plus 1434.65x. The meaning or the interpretation, we are told to interpret this 5440.729 is the amount of sales. The amount of sales that does not depend on the number of salespersons. The number of salespersons engaged. In other words, these are sales that are fixed. Whether you have people promoting your business or not, doing the marketing for you or not, those items will be sold. We call them the fixed or the constant. Timothy, you can see the figure, that's good. Then this 1434.65 is the increase in sales when persons engaged Increase by 1. Increase by 1. Now, remember the sign here is positive. This sign is positive. So this shows a direct relationship. And I told you earlier that a direct relationship means they are changing towards the same direction. That's why tunasema increase in sales when the sales persons increase. They are changing towards the same direction. Sasa ukiambiwa utafute forecast or prediction, we normally use this equation na huwa tunaiandika y raised to power n. You should remember this when you are in time series, y predicted. So ukiandika hivi inamaanisha y predicted. It is 5440.729 plus 1434.65. Now we bring the value of x. Tunaambiwa predict the sales made in the month of January when 19 salespersons were engaged. So if you engage 19 salespersons, so if I say plus 1434.65 times 19. So I will talk of that 2,699. Round there. That is what the candidate was supposed to do. I propose that on your own, you handle this question of August 2022. August 2022. Question 5A. Question 5A. August 2022, question 5A. Maybe the only new thing they have introduced there is the coefficient of determination, which is included in your formulas. In the notes I've given you, there is a formula on that. It's a formula on that. So we shall go. Or maybe so that you get clearer. Below that, as part of this question, you'll do exactly what I'm saying. The correlation coefficient, still under this question that we are solving, correlation coefficient. Now, correlation coefficient R is given as n sum of xy minus sum of x sum of y. You divide by the square root of n sum of x square minus sum of x square. You multiply by n sum of y square minus sum of y . Then coefficient of determination. Coefficient of determination. Coefficient of determination. R square. You simply get this value of R, you square it. You simply get that value of R, you square it. So what you should have done, or we should have done, if you wanted to get these values in the question, the only column we needed to add for your piece of columns, the add column ya y what? Square. You sasa ukuje upate hii value, then you substitute. So iko sawa? Yeah. So I had said you leave a space so that you have that. Haya, from there andika sasa kitu inaitwa reliability tests. Reliability tests. Now, reliability tests, they have to do with, or it is about testing. It's about testing how reliable or how good the equation is. Your equation tumepata hapo. And the tests are divided into 3 areas. I wish to mention them as we handle them. So I want us to use this question of December 2022. So sasa utaandika illustration is December 2022. Question number 1C. Question number 1C. So we are going to have a sheet that has 11 columns. So the first column is distance, which is our x. Remember, we are going to have 11 columns, so you make sure you panga them vizuri. Then we have the visits. Visits will be our y. Then I will have a column where x is multiplied by y. I will have a column where x is squared. I will have a column where y is squared. I need y squared. Let me put it. So there may be 12 columns. Then I will have forecasts. This is y predicted, y raised to power n. Then I will have another column called error. And this is y minus y predicted. Then I will have another column where y minus y predicted, they are squared. Then I will have a column of y predicted minus y bar I square. We'll have a column of y minus y bar I square. Then I'll have a column of x minus x bar I square. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Yeah, if that is how I will have my 11 columns. So I have 1 here, 42. I have 2, 26. I have 3, 38. I have 4, 36. I have 5, 34. I have 6, 34. I have 7, 28. I have 8, 40. I have 9, 20. And I have 10, 22. So once again, tuanze. Semi 1 plus 2 plus 3 plus 4 plus 5 plus 6 plus 7 plus 8 plus 9 plus 10, totally 55. Then 42 plus 26 plus 38 plus 36 plus 34 plus 34 plus 28 plus 40 plus 20 plus 22 is 320. X multiplied by y, this is 42, this is 52. 3 times 38 is 114. 4 times 36 is 144. 5 times 34 is 170. 6 times 34 is 204. 7 times 28 is 196. 8 times 40 is 320. 9 times 20 is 180. 10 times 2 is 220. So you start adding. You start adding. I'm getting 1642. X squared, this is 1, this is 4, this is 9, this is 16, 25, 36, 49, 84, no, 64, 81, and 100. So if you have 1 square plus 2 square plus 3 square plus 4 square plus 5 square plus 6 square plus 7 square plus 8 square plus 9 square plus 10 square is giving me 385. 385. Y square, 42 square is 1764. 26 square is 676. 38 square is 1444. 36 square is 1296. 34 square is 1156. This is also 1156. 28 square is 784. 40 square is 1600. 20 square is 400. 22 square is 484. So if you add to 400, you add 1600, you add 784, you add 1156, you add 1156, you add 1296, you add 44, you add 676, you add 1764 is 10,760. $10,760. So below that, below your table, the calculation results. Regression results. So in the regression results, let's start with X bar, the mean. The mean of X, we know it is given as sum of X divided by N. So this will be 55. We divide by 10, that gives us 5.5. If you want Y bar, it is given as sum of Y divided by N, which is 320. You divide by 10. That gives you 32. Something else is the value of B. B is given as N. It's a formula because you already have it in the other questions. So B in the annual as N, which is 10, multiplied by sum of XY, which is 16, 42, minus sum of X, 55, multiplied by sum of Y, which is 320. You divide this by N, which is 10, multiplied by sum of X squared, that is 385, minus sum of X squared, so it is 55 times 55. So let's solve for that. The same 10 times 1642 minus 55 times 320. I divide by 10 times 385 minus 55 squared. I'm getting negative 1.43. We will have to go at the higher speed because each table lazima tujaze 4 time is over. Then A is the sum of Y. Sum of Y is 320 minus B. So minus 1.43 times X, 55. You divide by 10. And maybe we needed to label. So 320 minus answer times 55 divided by 10. That's 9.86. I'm getting that 9.87. Timothy, you're getting what? That is 320 minus 1.43. times 55 divided by 10. So 39.87. Yeah, 0.87. Good. So that is the. So that means our equation y predicted will be given as 39.87 minus 1.43x minus 1.43x. Something else that you can get is R. We can compute this because we did not compute it in the other question. It is 10 times 1642 minus 55 times 320. Now this one, you divide by the square root of 10 times sum of x squared. X squared is 385 minus sum of x squared, 55 squared. So this one we multiply by 10 times sum of y squared. Y squared is 10,760. 10,760 minus sum of y. Y is 320 squared. Alafu sasa hii naiweka kwa square root. Naiweka kwa square root. Naiweka kwa square root. So if I start down here, nitasema 10 times 385 minus 55 square equals times, open the brackets, 10 times 10,760 minus 320 square, close the brackets, equals, get the square root of the answer. Then inverse of that, multiply by, open the brackets, 10 times 1642 minus 55 times 320, close the brackets, equals, I'm getting negative 0.57. Negative 0.57. So my coefficient of determination R square, nimekuambia itakuwa now this value, you square it. You square it. Some people choose to multiply by 100, others leave it that way. So if you square, it will be 0.32. Down there. Which you can, I'm saying, you can multiply by 100, it will be now, this is at 2%. Coefficient of determination. So those are the regression results. Sasa, if I first of all answer the question, mwenye alikuwa ameuliza hii swali, alikuwa amesema hivi, determine whether there is any relationship between the number of visits made to the supermarket and the distance from the customer's residences. So the andika solution, below that, andika solution. You have to go to the tumemalizana na hiyo swali. Solution, Roman 1. Okay, and we write that the value for the slope, which is negative 1.43, the value for the slope, which is negative 1.43, shows existence of an inverse. Shows existence of an inverse relationship. Inverse relationship between distance in kilometers, and the number of visits made. In other words, the number of visits decrease by 1.43. The number of visits decrease by 1.43 when distance increases by 1 kilometer. When distance increases by 1 kilometer. Yeah, I think that makes sense. The longer the distance, the fewer the visits. But still on that, we could make, now that we have computed this one, we write that, and this was negative. R should never be negative. Did you get a negative or a positive? R should never be negative. How comes to give us a negative? R should be between 0 and 1. 10 times 1642 minus 55 times 320. It's negative. That's weird. R should never be negative. But our workings are okay. Okay. So maybe the question was not set to be solved that way, but R should never be negative. So that puts a lot of questions. We shall be discussing about that. We call it spurious. So we can still comment about it. The value of R 0.57. The value of R 0.57 shows an average strength relationship. Shows an average strength. Shows an average strength. An average strength relationship. The relationship is expressed as y is equals to that 9.87 minus 1.43x. So with that, we have answered that question because to comment the nature, the strength, and the function. The second requirement that we examine alikuwa anataka alisema calculate the decrease in the number of visits to the supermarket with each unit increase the distance. Hiyo tushajibu. Yeah, tumesema the visits decrease by 1.43. So that question, as far as the examiner was concerned. So what that means is, in answering that question, the candidate was required to compute this value. This equation, this one, but these two are not needed. Those two are not needed, even this one. So this one, these three now, this and this, meziweka because we are doing reliability test, na nimesema natumia hii table ama hii swali kufunza that area, which has very many things. We shall discuss them today and tomorrow. Yeah, so let's go back to our sheet. And what happens now in getting the predicted hapa, utakuwa unachukua hii value ya x hapa, unaiweka kwa equation. So chukua calculator tuanze. Useme 39.87 plus, not plus, it is minus 1.43 times 1. Are you getting 38.44? 38.44. That way. Tena uchukue hiyo equation useme 39.87 minus 1.43 times 2. Sasa weka 2. Utapata 37.01. Aya useme 39.87 minus 1.43 times 3. It is 35.58. 39.87 minus 1.43 times 4 is 34.15. 39.87 minus 1.43 times 5 is 2.72. 39.87 minus 1.43 times 6 is 1.29. 39.87 minus 1.43 times 7 is 29.86. 39.87 minus 1.43 times 8 is 28.43. 39.87 minus 1.43 times 9 is 27. 39.87 minus 1.43 times 10 is 25.57. Quickly add those values. So plus 27 plus 28.43 plus 29.86 plus that 1.29 plus that 2.72 plus that 4.15 plus 35.58 plus that 7.01 plus that 8.44. I'm getting 320.05. Perfect, eh? Let's go to the error. Your column ya error, you can see it is y minus y predicted. So ni hii minus this one. So answer will say 42 minus 38.44. I'm getting 3.56. And before you clear that, you square that value. Niandike hapa 12.6736. I have said 26 minus 37.01 is negative 11.01. You square that, waandike 121.2201. 38 minus 35.58 is 2.42. You square that, you get 5.8564. 36 minus 34.15 is 1.85. Square that value, you get 3.4225. 34 minus 32.72 is 1.28. Square that value, you get 1.6384. 34 minus 1.29 is 2.71. Square that value, you get 7.3441. 28 minus 29.86. You square that. Oh. Square nimepata 3.4596. It was 28 minus 29.86, negative 1.86. 40 minus 28.43 is 11.57. Square that is 133.8649. 20 minus 27 is negative 7. You square that, you get 49. 22 minus 25.57. It's negative 3.57. You square that, you get 12.7449. Let's get the totals. So plus 49 plus 133.8649 plus 3.4596 plus 7.3441 plus 1.6384 plus 3.4225 plus 5.8564 plus 121.2201 plus 12.6736. I'm getting a total of 351.2245. To add hii column ingine 3.56 plus minus 11.01 plus 2.42 plus 1.85 plus 1.28 plus 2.71 plus negative 1.86 plus 11.57 plus negative 7 plus negative 3.57. I'm getting a negative 0.05. Haya, sasa hii nayo utakuwa unachukua hii y predicted, una subtract this value of y bar, this one, that 2. So nikianza nitasema ni hii ya kwanza y predicted, 38.44 minus that 2 equals, then you square. You record here 41.4736. 37.01 minus that 2, you square. You record 25.1001. 35.58 minus that 2, you square. You get 12.8164. 34.15 minus that 2, you square. You get 4.6225. That's 2.72 minus that 2. You square that value, you get 0.5184. That 1.29 minus that 2, you square the value, you get 0.5041. 29.86 minus that 2, you square, you get 4.5796. 28.43 minus that 2, you square, you get 12.7449. 27 minus that 2, you square, you get 25. 25.57 minus that 2, you square, you get 41.3449. Alafu sasa you add plus 25 plus 12.7449 plus 4.5796 plus 0.5041 plus 0.5184 plus 4.6225 plus 12.8164 plus 25.1001 plus 41.4736. I'm getting 168.7045. Haya, y minus y bar. Sasa tena uchukue hizi values za y. Hii 42 minus that 2. 42 minus that 2 you square. That is 100. 26 minus that 2 you square. 36. 38 minus that 2 you square. 36 again. 36 minus that 2 you square. 16. 34 minus that 2 you square. That is 4. This is also 4 because inafanana. 28 minus that 2 you square. That is 16. 40 minus that 2 you square, you get 64. 20 minus that 2 you square, you get 144. 22 minus that 2 you square, you get 100. Sasa you add plus 144 plus 64 plus 16 plus 4 plus 4 plus 16 plus 36 plus 36 plus 100 is 520. 520. Then uchukue hii value ya x, you subtract x bar, which is 5.5. So 1 minus 5.5 equals squared 20.25. 2 minus 5.5 equals square, you get 12.25. 3 minus 5.5, you square, you get 6.25. 4 minus 5.5, you square is 2.25. 5 minus 5.5, you square is 0.25. 6 minus 5.5, you square is 0.25. 7 minus 5.5, you square is 2.25. 8 minus 5.5, you square is 6.25. 9 minus 5.5, you square is 12.25. 10 minus 5.5, you square is 20.25. So plus 12.25 plus 6.25 plus 2.25 plus 0.25 plus 0.25 plus 2.25 plus 6.25 plus 12.25 plus 20.25 is 2.5. Good. So that is how you prepare the table. That is for the analysis. Take a photo so that tomorrow on the next lesson. Okay, so I can say we have a few minutes that we can afford to discuss the test. So in the below that now, we do the first test. First test A, which is called economic plausibility test. Now, economic plausibility tests, it checks what rather so here you can have the dependent variable. You can put it down like this, dependent variable. Dependent variable is what? We are calling it number of visits made. Is the number of visits made. Independent variable. Independent variable. Independent variable is distance in kilometers between customers' home or customers' residence and supermarket. And supermarket. Those are the two variables that we are analyzing in this question. The next thing now that you bring is what we call expected relationship. Expected relationship. Expected relationship. What is it that you have observed? Or rather, what is it that you expect? Would you expect to see a direct relationship, an inverse relationship, or a null relationship, generally? As in, ukisema direct ni kumaanisha the more the kilometers, the more the visits. Ukisema inverse ni kusema the more the kilometers, the less the visits. Ukisema null, unasema there is no relationship. It does not matter the distance and the visits. So generally ungetarajia nini? More kilometers, less distance. I mean, less visits. Good. Now that is called inverse relationship. inverse relationship. That is what we would expect. That is what we would expect. Then, what is the observed relationship? Observed relationship. Observed relationship, it is what now you have seen from the data. Nakumbuka juzi tukifanya regression, hypothesis. What you are calling the test statistic, the calculated value. That's the observed. So in this case now, our observed relationship is also inverse. Because tulipata B was equal to negative 1.43. Yeah, negative 1.43. So inverse relationship, that is what we have observed. Then what is the conclusion? What is the conclusion? The conclusion is that the relationship is economically visible, economically plausible, is economically plausible, or makes sense, since the expected relationship, is in agreement with the observed relationship. Yeah. So it is making sense because what we were expecting is what we have seen. When you tell someone something and they tell you it is not making sense, they are simply telling you what I was expecting is not what you are telling me. And as I told you, we always have the opinions. And the opinions, in other words, can be said to be our expectations. So when you get to the ground, what you get, if it is in line with what your opinion was or what your expectation was, then we say it is making sense. If they are different, we call it spurious. Like now what I said there, the value of R, I never expected it to be negative. Now that one, if I was told to judge, I would call it spurious. So when you look at your notes, you will see what we call spurious relationships. So I think with that, that is the first test. So when we meet in our next lesson, God willing, we are going to do the other tests. There are two more. There is B and C. And once we finish, we will be done with the syllabus. So I hope we can finish that tomorrow so that next week we start revision. Yeah. So thank you. Tomorrow at times, in case nichelewe, now I'm able to teach from the house. In case niamke nione nachelewa, I will just alert you quickly so that you don't come physical. Yeah. But I hope to come physical. Asante.